guys, welcome once again to the Raj Core podcast. And as I always say, if you haven't already, please subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I'm giving you all this pre-content, innit? What's the banda or down here? So do that for me, guys. Hit the like. And I've got a very, very special guest today. He doesn't know, but I actually know his brother, younger brother. He's still at college with me, but we'll talk about that in a second. Harry Matharu, take it away, bro.
Raj, thanks for having me on here. I know we've been planning this for a while now, so yeah, now I've got to go. I know everyone leads busy lives, but thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's absolute pleasure. So you know what this podcast is about? It's about musical excellence, but we sometimes I was talking to Bangar and Sadi Jodi a few months back, right? We did a podcast with them, and we were supposed to talk about musical excellence, but we ended up spending 2-3 hours talking about everything. Don't worry, I'm not going to keep you 3 hours here, but it's we ended up like that. So anyway, so make a start. How are you first?
Yeah, not bad. It's just you know what it's like. Life these days, it's busy, juggling so many plates. Obviously with jobs and music as well, and family. It's good, man. It's down there, man. It's just getting, just finding times to do things. And as I say, we've been trying to plan this for the past few months. But no, it's I can't complain. Everything's going pretty well, to be honest, in all aspects. How about yourself? Your podcast is doing quite well. I didn't know you was a mate of my brother's.
We're not mates. I know him from college. He's more mates with my cousin. We used to go to St. George's College, all the Dawson crew. Didn't know Dawson? Probably know it.
Yeah.
I think it's closed now, St. George's. The college.
Yeah, I think it is.
But a lot of musicians came from St. George's. Tarly
Digital. All Handsworth vibes, man.
Tarly Digital came from there. Gin, Gin and
Steve.
Yeah. He came from there as well, and there's a few others as well that came from there as well. So
Handsworth has got quite a few musicians born out of Handsworth,
exactly,
like ourselves as well.
The other guy you might know is my Mamas and Suki Chan.
Yeah, Suki Chan. Yeah, again, known him since started off in the music scene, huh?
Yeah, Masaga Mamasan. Yeah,
is it? Small world, man.
Yeah, exactly.
He's still quite active as well behind the scenes.
He's got a studio. I think it's Tipton, or Wednesbury. I think he's based now.
Oh, has he moved there? He was in near Hockley,
Yeah, that jewelry quarter used to be.
Remember
just around the corner from Subway near the clock tower.
Yeah.
But he moved from there. I think something happened to that studio, but he's moved.
I haven't seen him for a while, to be honest, but I know he's doing well. Which is good.
Yeah. Suki's great, he's great.
Yeah.
But let's talk about yourself. So I know a bit about your background, that you're the son of Uncle G of Ashoka Group.
Yeah.
You want to tell us a bit about that?
So, I think a lot of people do know my daddy. He's quite well known, Safri Matharu. So, my dad's story about my dad is he's the youngest out of many brothers and sisters. He came to the UK with my baba in 1966. So, out of all my puas, my dad's the only one who developed an interest in music whilst he was in India. From what I know, from what he's told us, is that he used to want to sing shabads in gurdwaras and stuff, and then he developed an art for writing as well. So at the age of 16, my dad landed here in the UK with my baba at the age of 16, and because of this musical interest, which nobody in his family could understand, where's it come from, he was actually part of the first ever band set up in the UK, 1966, a band called the Musafers. Also in that band was Bali Sagu's dad.
Really?
He sadly passed. Yeah, Bali Sagu's dad sadly passed away a few years back. There was the drummer. He's the older brother of Bulbir, who used to be the talkie player for Desi. You probably remember Bulbir with the curly hair. And the other brother, Amajit, who was the drummer for Azad. He was the drummer. There was other members as well who I think they didn't really last through the scene as much. So Musafers, they were mainly like a Hindi musical band. From there, my dad joined forces with a couple of other mates, Ramu, Kuldip Matharu, and there was a guy called Ratan. And that's where Ashoka Group was born in the 70s.
Wow.
So I'm born in 1975, and Ashoka Group is one of the very few bands that are, on the circuit at that point. I think AS Kang was also um, in the scene as well. There was Pachungi. There was a band called the Satis. There was only a few bands who was performing at weddings in pubs and stuff. So if you think 1975, I'm born into music. This interest my dad's developed from God knows where. So me, I'm born into music. My brother's born into music, and that's all we've had around us. And I think my earliest memories of learning music or wanting to learn music are probably around about the age of 5 or something, where I'm just there banging away on the talkie we had at home. And I used to say to my dad, "How do you play this song?" Not realizing that it's just a beat which goes with most songs, and songs fit to that. I said, "Can you play this song? Can you play that song?" So we was messing around like that. Then I think around about the age of 8, I started learning classical tabla from Kuldeep Singh Matharu, who was a tabla player in my dad's band. From there was always a keyboard at home as well, so I'd always dabble with the keyboards. And I remember learning the first ever musical piece. I asked my dad, because around then, one of the hit albums was one of the Gurdas albums, Mamla Garbar Hai, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a song in there, Masti Mana. And that song, I remember my dad used to rehearse that with the Ashoka Group for weddings and stuff. And I said to my dad one time, "How do you play this song?" And he showed me how to play, and he just gave me a couple of tips. He goes, "You use this finger on this note, and you use that finger on that note, and just use that cycle when you play pieces." So from there, I just carry on practicing that piece. Then I'd listen to tapes and play along with that. And literally, all I've ever done is just played along to albums and tapes and things like Diamonds from Hira, Hole Hole, Alab, the earlies. We're talking 80s now, yeah? And this is where I really sat down and I was always playing along to tapes. I used to drive my family mad. My brother was the same as well. He'd dabble as well. He'd always play instruments as well. And this is what we'd done. And honestly, there's not really much I can tell you about how I learned, other than I just carried on playing to tapes when I was little and just carried on doing it. Then at the age of 16, I got my first opportunity to sort of like come into the Bhangra scene with the band Ishara. Prior to that, I was going to gigs with my dad, throw me in at the deep end and say, play keyboards to this song and that. And it was just generally all I've done is just sit and just played all the time. And as they say, practice makes perfect, you know?
Was it
So
like
that's a little brief.
or was it like a type of discovery? Because you were 5. You say you started at 5. That.
I'd say around about 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 8. I think is probably.
But still, it's. I think it's something that we have as as children that we don't have as adults. The inquisitive nature.
Yeah.
John Downer, that inquisitive
Yeah.
nature. Okay,
100%. I always say this as well to anybody who's got children. They go, "I want my son or my daughter to learn this, that, the other." I will always say, and this is not disrespecting anybody of our age or anything. It's never too late to learn anything.
No.
But I think when you are young, your brain sponges everything in. I know it's like it's natural, isn't it, for children as they're growing up, they're learning things. I think you learn things and absorb things a lot more quicker when you was little. I'll be honest with you, trying to learn something new now, whether it be anything in a new field, professional field, it's going to be a lot more challenging now than you would when you was a lot more younger. And I think it's the same with music as well. I'd love to play bass guitar. I'd love to play lead guitar. I wouldn't be able to do it now. But I wish I'd learnt that when I was younger as well. I may have absorbed it a lot more. So it's natural, isn't it? The younger you are going to pick things up a lot more quicker and easier.
Absolutely, yeah. So when you were learning the Gurdar Smart tracks, was it like you were saying the track must be
Yeah.
I remember that track.
Yeah.
Great track. So when you were learning that, did your hands just settle? Obviously, it's a long time ago now. I'm not saying you're old.
I am. I'm getting there.
So do you remember like just the feel of that keyboard, because it's still quite a to play. Like I learned Bajja, right, and transitioning from Bajja to keyboard, getting my left hand, I couldn't play with my left hand. Just little things, silly things, isn't it? Like, but it took me ages to get that, like, really, like, sitting down, getting disciplined, and putting my BPM right down to 50 BPM and doing it like
slowly.
that.
Yeah,
That's how I got sped up
yeah.
now playing piano. So was it? Did you just? Do you remember just taking to it, or?
I remember just taking to it. I mean, like as I say, the couple of tips my dad told me was when my dad self-taught himself as well, and he just said, he goes, when you're playing, make sure that your thumb is the only one which touches the white note, and this finger touches the black note. Just a little tip like that, and with your fourth finger that touches the white note. Little things like that for that particular piece, and that's always stuck with me. That when I'm playing a piece, that's how my fingers are going to be sat on the keyboard, and from that, I took to it quite well, and I played that piece, and I kept on playing it. And so, any other new tapes that I was listening, well, it was tapes in those days, or even vinyls. So any new tapes that I'd listen to, I'd listen to the music, and my ear was trained into it. I mean, here's another thing. I know we go slightly off topic. I'm trained by ear. If you put a sheet of paper in front of me, right, I'd be lost. Yeah, I'd be absolutely lost. You know. So again, listening to tapes and tuning my ear, finding the right note, and then using that methodology my dad told me, about the fingers. I just put that into practice and just carried on playing like that. So that's how I've sort of played all these years, As time goes on, the more songs you start learning and the more music you start learning, because you never stop learning. I'm still learning now. I'm actually learning a new, totally different set of music, which I've never played before. I'll talk about that a little bit later.
Right, yeah.
But again, I'm finding it a bit challenging because it's not my normal cup of tea. But it's always good to have a challenge as well. It's basically English music. I'm learning English music for. I'm doing a gig abroad in May, and they are English songs. Beatles, Robbie Williams, Oasis. Yeah, man, totally different to what I'm used to, and having to learn that stuff, it is a bit more challenging now. I may have picked it up way quicker when I was like younger, but it's the way it is, and you never stop learning, and it's good to keep yourself on your toes as well.
Do you think as you get older, fear sets in?
Fear.
Like not fear, like a bit more apprehension. Like when you're a kid, you don't care if you get stuff wrong, but like I find
Yeah.
as I get older, I'm like, oh gosh, I've got to learn this, and it's a bit of a like you've
I
got a bit of
suppose.
apprehension.
I suppose in that sense, I wouldn't say it's fear. It's just wanting to make sure that you're doing a good job and not wanting to make any mistakes. I mean, let's face it, the older you get, you're not as fast as you used to be in any aspect, and you just want to do the best. I wouldn't say it's fear. I'd just say it's wanting to concentrate that even harder and making sure that I am still delivering. I mean, as time goes on, the way I play today compared to the way I would have played when I was 16, obviously there's going to be a massive difference. Time evolves, music evolves, styles change. It is very different, and again, it just goes to show how you progress through the years as well. So that's my thoughts on that. Is it's not fear. It's just wanting to get it right,
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Here's an interesting one for you. I just thought a random one. So when I started learning piano, I struggled with time signatures.
Mm-hmm.
Because you learn by ear. How did you get about my Bajja? I learned by ear. And I had a teacher for the Bajja because Bajja was used for vocals. But when I started learning sheet music and thing, and you have all these time signatures, and you have like I forgot what they're called, accentures. You know the top the strength of your finger that you put.
Right.
Even that's written on a sheet music.
I'll tell you, that's something. It is one of my. Well, I don't know if it's a regret. I wish I could have read music. I've never been able to. But here's another interesting fact for you. I've performed alongside some musicians from the Symphony of Birmingham.
Really?
City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra, the CBSO. We've done a little project last year with a string quartet from there. And it was a song we'd done. It was in conjunction with True School. And it was actually a Diljit song, El Sueno. Um, we had to perform that as a bit of a collaboration. And would you believe that the orchestra musicians have never heard that song before? They were given a sheet of music and they played it. And whilst we were there, we was talking about making a couple of changes. And I was talking about what do we need to change that F sharp to this C sharp, and we need to come in with this. And they were writing all this stuff down. And I was talking to them afterwards, and they were like saying, "It's amazing how you can just do that, just write like that by ear." And I was saying, "Shut up! It's amazing how you guys can read this and play it so well." So it's one of these things. I'll talk from my experience, from my perspective. I regret not being able to learn to read music, but those people who can read music, they wish they could do it by ear. It's just mad. You can't have it both ways, isn't it? But
very interesting. There's a thought, and it's not my thought. There's a school of thought, we would say, that the people who learn by sheet music, they become so strict. They can play anything sheet, but they can't improvise.
That's exactly what they were talking about, and I think that is true because it's written in paper. It's written on paper in front of them. They have to abide by that. But we play by ear, and we can make those changes. And this is again, we're going slightly. I will come back to your time signature question as well, Anna. I was thrown in the deep end many times when I was younger, by my dad and by other people from the industry to say, "Look, I've got a show for you. You need to play with so many artists. Never played their songs before. Never performed with them, and having to play keyboards. That's improvising, working it out by ear. Yes, it was scary, but managed to get through it. And I think it makes you better and stronger that way, Hannah. Time signatures. Then coming back to that, then I'll tell you how it works for me. Most of Bhangra music is 4/4, isn't it? Or 8 beats, the 1, 2, 3, 4. So that becomes sort of natural to you. I have had to perform with artists where we've had to perform in Rupak, which is a 7 beat. We've had to perform in Dadra, which is 6 beat. Now, as I said earlier, I learnt tabla classically. I couldn't play much now.
I forgot about that.
So that's how that helps me out on having an understanding of those beats and the time signatures. So only a few weeks ago, to be honest with you, I played with Kesh K. We had a bit of a Ghazal Gwali type of night. And he sang a couple of songs in Dada, which is 6 beat. So in my head, we're doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm having to play a piece in that time signature. So from me, it's a case of I've learned that myself as well. So I've got that foundation there to help me out with these time signatures. One of my musicians in my band, Juggy, he's like a phenomenal tabla player, and his level of teaching is way up there, and he understands stuff like 13 and a half beats. I wouldn't even be able to tell you where to start with that. So it does get very, very complicated, but again, it's a matter of understanding and what you learn, and that's what helps me in my performances.
That's really amazing. I was practicing a song the other day. What was it? Jagdeep Singh Ghazal. One of his ghazals anyway, and that was in Rupak.
Yeah.
Like my singing teacher goes, "Can you guess what thal this is?" Bunch of count. I got it though.
Yeah.
Because even listening to the song and guessing what beat it is, that's a skill in itself, isn't it? So anyway, let's move on. That's fantastic. That's actually really insightful for me, because part of this podcast is a passion project that I learn of other musicians, especially yourself, who's really experienced. So thank you.
No, welcome.
Thank you. So okay, so let's move on. So what about your career with Ishara?
So Ishara for me was, I think, my stepping stone and my sort of introduction to the Bhangra scene. And I can say, since my Ishara days, I'm still here today, consistent, non-stop, since the year 1992, would you believe? Yeah, I was 16 years old. So how that came across was people knew my dad, and they knew that his son is playing keyboards. Let's give him a try. So we received a call from Icky, who was managing Ishara, this new band which was coming out then. And I remember Do you remember Radio Derby, the Archgal show
Yeah, yeah.
back in the 80s and 90s? And I used to play. It was what everyone looked forward to on a Friday night, listening to the Bhangra show. And I heard on there, I remember me and my brother, what we used to do, we used to like press record to the songs, we used to put them all on tapes, and I thought these are the days we're talking. And there was a song which came out, which was Gidde Vich Bach Ke Na Jai Kuriye. And it was like, the vocals just sounded amazing. There was a mixture, it was between like, it sounded a bit like Safri, it sounded a bit like a couple of other singers, but we couldn't pinpoint who it was. When I received that phone call, it was a guy called Icky who was managing Ishara now. He used to manage the Safri Boys when they first set up. I came back from college. My dad said, he goes, "Oh, Icky's phoned you. You need to call him back." I rang him back and he goes, "Look, I'm setting up a new band, Ishara. We need a keyboard player. We know that you're playing keyboards. We'd like to take you on board." And when he told me about the album, I was thinking, that's the song I heard last week on the radio. So pretty much they were, I think, one of the best newcoming bands at that time. We were really, really busy. We were playing weddings every Saturday and Sunday. We was doing stage shows in clubs. We were always the opening band, and we was playing on the same stages as Safri Boys, Mulkeed, Achanak, DCS, Alap, Hira, the big boys of the industry, you know. And I was just a 16-year-old playing keyboards with this newcoming band who were doing really well. And I got to know, that's when I think I made a lot of friends. Got to know everybody in the scene, got to know a lot of the singers. And it just took off from there, really. It took off from there. I mean, I could sit here all day and tell you, you know, the ladders I've climbed and everything I've been through and stuff. It's been amazing. But that's where it all started. And, you know, I'm very, very thankful to Iki Meshibadi for my chance. And it's, you know, I always have that.
That was him, Meshi Shara. I think when I used to go Hollywood school. So
Yeah.
I think he was he used to live on.
Yeah, he lives around the corner. Yeah. Clarence Road, I think it was. Around the corner.
Sorry,
around the corner from Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think I walked past his house.
Yeah. No, a lot of respect for them guys, man. It was like an opening for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just took off from there. It's like 18 months later, I was performing in Canada with Excellency. You know, played with Excellency. Then I joined them.
They were
And
my
would you
favorite.
believe
They were my favorite.
Excellency was a really good band. Really good band to perform with. So after 18 months with Excellency, it was just a massive jump. I was with Mulkeed. So I joined Mulkeed in 1995.
Shout out to Excellency to Mulkeed.
Yeah. Mad, isn't it? It was absolutely amazing. And I'll tell you, best days of my musical life were with Mulkeed, man. Absolutely. You know, we've seen the world performing alongside Mulkeed, and the gigs we've done, just everything about that period with Melky. It was only 5 years because after Melky, I joined Safri Boys, and then then so much in between as well. But yeah, those 5 years with Melky were the absolute best. We had an amazing team of guys. We got on really well musically, but off stage as well, we were just the best laughs ever, man.
I can imagine.
It was just like the best times, and it was absolutely brilliant.
See, I don't think people realize how, like we this is no disrespect to artists now. I don't mean that, but the UK's done a lot of stuff that's being publicized now, just that we didn't have social media then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Imagine we did.
Yeah, imagine, because we've done like the biggest festivals in the world. Like, obviously you toured with Mulkeed Singh, so
yeah.
So...
Well, this is the thing. I think about this occasionally. It's like, I'll be honest with you, when it comes to social media, I ain't really that good. I'm old school Facebook, and I can just about handle that. Instagram, I just find when you're looking on things, you just go on and on and on, and you can sat there for hours. So I ain't even going to bother trying TikTok. I see my kids; they're on it all the time. But social media is such an important tool these days. But I often sit there and I wonder, back in the day, we were busy every single Saturday and Sunday, and that was just through phone calls. There wasn't any like emails or WhatsApps or text messages. It was literally through phone calls, bookings. That's how they were coming through. Tours around the world. They were all done literally just by phone. Advertisements. It was radio, posters, or I remember our shop we used to buy the tapes from. They used to blast the brand new tape on their speakers every Saturday. So that's how things were done back in the day. And do you remember the tape on Soho Road, the tape shop?
Hi-Fi.
Was it Hi-Fi next to KFC?
Yeah, Hi-Fi. That was
it.
Hi-Fi.
You know, I actually worked in there for a
Where
few
did you?
months every Saturday. Yeah. I was about 15 or 16.
I used to go there every that was my cassette shop basically. Every Saturday we used to go.
We used to get films from there as well, huh?
Yeah, films.
Yeah.
May was the owner.
Yeah.
That was his name.
That's it. So yeah, that's just things like that. That's how they used to do the advertising, I suppose. But imagine social media was around back in them days. It's just it's just mad to think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So like, tell me a bit about the whole band era, because I always ask artists this, so I'm going to ask you as well. What do you, in your opinion, what happened to the whole band scene? I mean, the cliche answer is DJs, but that might be your answer as well. But I'd love to know your opinion.
It is easy to say the DJs. The DJs took over, which, you know what, fair play to them. I think there are some amazing DJs. It's not just about spinning a CD or pressing play on your laptop, it's the show they put together as well. You're talking screens, lights, and there's a lot of stuff that these DJs are doing, it looks good. I mean, we got family weddings ourselves where they'll ask me, can you get us a DJ? And I'm thinking, what's wrong with the live band then? You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. I'll be honest. I suppose I do have my own opinions, which I might just keep to myself, to be honest. But is it cost? Are bands getting too expensive?
Well, DJs cost thousands,
exactly.
Don't they?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a difficult one, isn't it? I mean, live bands. I'm all about live music. Live music is live music, and it is absolutely amazing. I don't know. It's a really difficult one. It is a difficult one. But is it public understanding? Do they prefer? Do they think it's easier to get a DJ?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But do you think part of the problem is that DJs are always able to produce produce, and I don't mean produce as in, I mean like represent. But say you're going to play a track, it sounds exactly as a recorded one.
That's giving that sound, isn't it?
I know. Whereas this is what Dips. I did an interview with Dips recently. Bhangra,
I think I know what you're going to say, because we've had this conversation many times. With him.
Yeah. And he was saying you need to incorporate that a bit of live.
I'll be honest. Yeah. I'll be straight with you. It's something which goes against my principles.
Yeah.
But I think moving forward, it's something which we're going to have to do as live bands, and it's something which I'm going to start incorporating in my own band as well.
Yeah.
Loops, processed sound, right? I think the understanding between some of the musicians is, we don't want to play to a backing track, right? I went on tour with Daljit, right? I'll talk about that in a sec. I did learn some stuff from there. It was live, but it was to a backing track. It's all about the processed sound. And I think the competition these days, and Dips might have said the same thing, the competition for live bands is the DJ. Because of that process sound, it's the sound that's produced. It's big, it's clean. I'm not saying a live band isn't producing that big sound, but live bands are amazing, but it's giving that extra touch to it. So whether that means we put play loops underneath the live band as well, or play extra stuff with it as well, I don't think there's anything wrong with it now. Yes, it does go against some of my principles, but to move forward, is that what we got to do? Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Then I'm going to play devil's advocate. We've got something like Coke Studio. They produce all live, or at least in my understanding, they've got a lot of it's mostly live, and it sounds off the charts.
Well, there's another thing then. Okay, they've got a massive orchestra of people, bands, right? I mean, ultimately, we've got to earn it. We musicians, we do get paid for what we do, whether it be a little bit of pocket money. But then if you start bringing in people like a Coke Studio band, how many musicians are there? There's absolute tons of them. So you've got to pay each and every one of those. So that budget's going to go way through the roof, isn't it? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I do like watching Coke Studios. It's amazing, man. The sound is, I know. But I think that's the way forward. It's competing with the DJs and delivering that sound, in it. delivering that sound, the process sound, whether it be having some pieces played or you playing on top of those, because that's what we've done with Diljit, right? With going on tour with Diljit was an amazing experience. But yeah, I did learn a
We'll
few
talk about
things
the
from.
beat today.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it's probably going to be the same answer Dips gave. Yeah, we're going to have to move forward, change our ways of performing live.
I
I
think it's
think
about the
that's what.
balance because you can still have that process, the loops, but
Yeah,
just like if you got a signature hook, you can
yeah,
and that you need to produce on a loop, you just put that signature hook in, and then
yeah,
the
of
rest of it
course.
will be live, kind of.
Yeah,
So
we
that's
trialed it because, as you know, we perform alongside Desi Live. We're normally the backing band, even though we call the Desi Live band. It is pretty much the whole Legends band, but we're happy to go underneath the banner of Desi Live. They're massive supporters of us musically. What they're doing in the sense of live shows is what the shows that used to happen back in the day when I first came in the scene. So again, ultimate respect to Sonny, with the Prash and the crew for what they're doing with Desi Live. We've got stuff coming up in the coming weeks with Desi Live. The last one we done in Birmingham, we trialled something with Shin. We trialled doing sort of like backing loops and stuff. Um, yeah, it worked okay. I think with that as well, you need to put a lot more time and effort into it as well. It is literally it's producing from scratch because you're not just going to be ripping stuff off from your albums and using that as a sample. You've got to produce it. So a lot of time and effort does have to go into it. But ultimately, if we want to sound good, that's what we're going to have to do, you know. So I'm all up for it now. I'm all up for it. It did take a while. I'll be honest with you, Dips. It took him a while to convince me to try and
a
come on
great
track
guy.
with
This
this
is
kind
it.
of thing. And only recently, since I've come back from the Diljit tour, I've thought, you know what? Yeah,
It's
this
not.
does work and it works. Let's do it. You know, so that is going to be the way forward for me as well now.
You know what my dream is, Harry? I was speaking to Tubbsy about this as well.
Yeah,
I'd love to have, right, like with all you guys, I'd love to have a hub. Like back in the day, you used to have like a pub where all musicians just get together and have a jam.
yeah,
And we have like our own version of a Coke studio, sort of where we just
yeah,
come in, right, on a Friday night and everyone just has have a mixed grill and just jam and different singers come on and just
yeah.
imagine
That
that,
would be amazing.
isn't it?
I'd be up for that.
Isn't it?
I'd be up for that
Yeah,
one.
I was thinking of getting. Like, I was speaking to Tubbsy, getting place. Me and Tubbsy actually looked at a place because I mentioned it to him. I says, let's get a place," and the guy who was looking at it didn't get back to him, but we were looking at like a pub or something where we just come and have a jam and just like
Yeah,
back in the old days. When your dad was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
stuff like
No, you know what? Something like that. It's possible. We could arrange it quite easily. We can have a venue set up, whether it be like a. I know the rehearsal studios we rehearse at. They've got a big hall next
that. Yeah,
door, so you could set it up. But I'll tell you what it is. It's time.
yeah,
It's getting everybody together. I can't. I struggle getting my band members to all agree on the same day for a rehearsal. Sometimes it's everyone's got different working patterns.
yeah.
I'm the same as well. My working patterns are a bit all over the place sometimes. My hours are a little bit funny. I know we've got businessmen in the band. You know, they've got shops, got teachers, we've got someone who works night shifts. It is difficult. So to do that on a regular basis, yeah, the idea is there. I would be well up for it, but I think and it's not just me and my band; it's everybody, isn't it? It's
I'm the
time.
same as I've got
Yeah,
two little kids, and
yeah,
you've got kids in it. You just take up your time.
yeah. It is. It is busy, and life is a lot more busier than what it was when we were young, first coming
Yeah.
into the scene. Hello.
I just miss those days, bro. When I took
I do. I tell you, they were the best days of my musical career being with Mulkeith, and that we are talking the year 1995 to the year 2000. I wasn't married then either, so not married, no
changes
kids,
things.
no house, living at mum and dad's, and it was just a free for all, and life was very very different. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with life now. Life is absolutely brilliant. You know, being married almost 24 years. My oldest daughter, she's 20, middle one's 18, youngest 16. You know, the kids have grown up.
Yeah.
And still, life is absolutely brilliant the way it is. So, not complaining, but it was very different then.
Well, I'm
Very
still
different.
gonna attempt it because I've got all the PA equipment. You see,
Yeah.
so I've got everything. We can just get up, set up,
Tell you what,
and
let's arrange it, man. Let's arrange it.
innit,
Set
let's
it up.
have a
I'm
jam.
there.
Have a
I'm there.
jam, and it we'll have some food or something, and it we'll
Yeah.
just have a jam and see
Go
how
for
it
the
goes.
grill, then
Yeah,
play your heart
exactly.
out, innit?
Have a
Yeah,
jam, and
I'd be up for it.
Yeah, you can make it quite fluid, so it doesn't have to be the same musician each week. But whoever's there, they just have a jam and have a
Yeah,
laugh,
everyone involved. Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, it's a good idea. It's good to meet up as well because I mean, to be honest with you, musicians in the Bhangra industry, we are all good friends. We've known each other a lot of years, but we don't really see each other
Yeah,
unless we see each other at a gig. Hana?
yeah.
Te utte mari ji gall hundi hai, how's it going, blah blah blah. That's about it. We don't get to like chill anymore with each other. Even like my own band members, yeah, we talk to each other on the phone, but we don't see each other until we've got a rehearsal or a gig. So it'd be good to set up, and it's just because everyone's just so busy with their own lives, you know.
So I'm gonna
Yeah,
take that one speak afterwards
yeah,
anyway. So
yeah, yeah.
because I've got no social life at the moment, bro. Honestly, work. But yeah, then straight after that, I'm doing
Yeah,
music,
I know that. I know that
next
feeling, man.
podcast, and then that's it. I've got
Yeah.
no friends left.
Yeah. No, no, set it up, Raj. I tell you, set it up.
Yeah,
We'll be there for you.
we'll have a laugh. Anyway, so yeah, let's move. You know what, bro? It's been half an hour already.
Okay.
Yeah,
Time flies, doesn't it, when you're having
yeah,
fun?
exactly. Tell us about Diljit. How did that happen?
Daljit was, I'll tell you, probably one of the most amazing musical experiences I've ever been involved in. By far the biggest musical experience. So how that came across was, um, right, so Daljit's on this big world tour. He's done Canada, America. They've come to UK and Europe. And luckily for me, his keyboard player, the one who plays the lead pieces, or the lead Punjabi pieces, his visa never got through for whatever reason. Right, nothing dodgy. It's just I think a time thing. His visa never came through for the Europe cities. He managed to get it for France, managed to get it for UK shows, but he didn't get it for Germany, Amsterdam, and Italy. I think because it's not part of the we're not part of the EU anymore. I think that might have had something to do with it. Who knows? Anyway, he didn't get it. So they came to UK. Now, because I'd performed with Diljit when he first came to UK, because I was part of the True School band, we performed with Diljit, and Diljit said to the management, "Look, it's fine. There's a guy called Harry. I've
So
played
he
with him.
remembered you. You left an impression on him.
Yeah, yeah. Um, he remembers us. We got on. He was sound, absolute sound guy. So there's a hierarchy of management these days. Because Diljit, let's face it, he is next level now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you're not going to get to Diljit, right? Are you?
Yeah, Diljit's not going to phone me or text me say,
Yeah,
"What you gonna do?" Yeah, I'm doing it." No, he sends messages through his management system. Management system have to make it work. So they managed to get through to me, and within 2 weeks, I was on a plane um, traveling to Europe. So I didn't actually speak to Diljit until we got there. I got in touch with his keyboard player, managed to get in touch with me and send me live recordings. Said, "Look, this is how we want the stuff played." They're very particular, because there's a hierarchy in the band as well. There's like a music producer who's the director, Virax. He's produced many albums from India. So um, he's in charge of the band there, but then their lead keyboard player is the one who was speaking to me. And the guy who I was covering, he was also on video chat sending me, how they want the pieces played. So I had to be very, very particular and play the pieces exactly how they wanted it.
respectful.
So, sorry.
Respectful.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, again, it was another type of learning. I'm having to learn because I know these pieces in my head. I'll play them like this in my Harry style. You know what I mean? But I've got to play it how they want them. So again, that was a fair bit of being really strict, and I had to get myself sorted. Then I flew out after 2 weeks of prep. Flew out to Germany. It was actually my birthday. I flew out on last year. So yeah, done gigs in Dusseldorf, Amsterdam, and Milan. Audiences of 20,000 people. You know what? Diljit turns up on the day of sound check. Everything is so professional. They've got a crew of about 100 people. Lighting, sound, staging, security. It's next level, absolute next level. Diljit will turn up and shook hands and remembers me. Remembers my name and everything. So he knows the score. Ran through songs very quickly because the team is that good at what they do. The sound's pretty much ready. It's there. Playing to these people, 20,000 people was next level. next level experience. Something I won't forget for a while, you know. But then we came back, and because I think what they done was with the keyboard player I was covering, AJ, they thought it's pointless him staying here in UK for 2 weeks while we're in Europe. They sent him back to Bombay. He can go home because they've been on the road or on flights for months on end.
Yeah.
I've done the show in O2 as well, and that for me was like special because that's my home stage. You know what I mean? After doing 3 shows abroad, I'm playing in my home now with Diljit. Biggest shows I've ever done, and it was amazing, man. I'll tell you, I've got loads of pictures and stuff. Which, in fact, my mate Simon is supposed to be doing me a reel, which he hasn't done yet. So Simon, get that reel sorted. He kept saying, "Send me footage, send me pictures." I've sent everything to him. I know Simon's busy with what he does, but yeah, we'll be releasing that soon as well.
That's amazing. I can't wait to see it.
Highlights of my Daljit experience. Yeah, brilliant. And the best thing was, back in, was it 2014? Yeah, this was amazing. This was a really good surprise for my family. So I took my family behind stage when we performed them the first time, and picture my daughters were quite young then. And we got a picture with Diljit, me, my wife, my 3 daughters. And my wife goes, "Let's surprise the kids." So I took a printout of the picture and sound checked. I called him over and he signed the pictures, and his photographer took the picture. That was supposed to be a surprise for my daughters, yeah. But Diljit actually uploaded that picture to his Instagram, which goes out to something like 20 million followers. And that spoiled the surprise for my daughters. But it's fine. They got over it.
That's pretty nice of him, isn't
it? Yeah. So yeah, my daughters are quite, amazed at the fact that I got him to sign it, and he'd put that picture of him signing their picture on his Instagram. So yeah, there's a few little wow factors on that.
What was your family's reaction? Because Diljit's the biggest Punjabi superstar in the world. Not only Punjabi, sorry, he's one of the biggest superstars in the world, full stop, isn't he?
He is, yeah, absolutely.
What was your family's reaction that you got going to tour with him?
My daughters were like, "That's amazing, that's amazing." But the thing is, they're so used to me performing with so many people. I don't mean to sound big-headed in a way, but for them, it's like, yeah, it's fine. Even though they were like a little bit more wowed by the fact that it's Diljit. My missus, again, she's the same. Yeah, wicked. Go for it. My mum and dad was like, "Oh, well, yeah." Again, for them, it's not a play with so many people. But there was my nephew and niece, my brother's 2 kids. They were literally mouth wide open when I told them. I said, "Yeah, I'm playing with Daljit," and they were literally mouths wide open. They're like, amazing. So yeah, you know what? They like it. And my daughter, she then put it on her Instagram. When your dad is part of the Diljit band. So they do like it. They do feel proud, I suppose, enough.
That's amazing. So yeah. I'm going to ask you a question about. We'll move on, unless you got anything else to say about the Diljit, because I don't want to cut anything.
You know what? I can sit here. I can talk to you for 12 hours about my life. You get fed up, man. But no, whatever, man. I'm sure this ain't going to be the only one. We can always catch up again. You know what I mean? There's so much to always talk about.
Just you said the setup there. Tell us more about the whole, because I'm interested, like, on a show on that scale. You said it was 100 crew members. Is that correct?
About 100 crew members, yeah. So you're talking, I'll tell you how we're talking obviously security, you're talking road crew. So road crew, I suppose I could be part of a road crew. You're talking chefs. They've got their own chefs as well.
Yeah. Stuff I want to know, basically.
It's mad. It's huge. Then they've got their own photographers. You've not got the one cameraman. You've got a team of them. You've got a team of cameramen and videographers, a DIR team, something to do with digital something or another. Sound engineers. They've got a team of sound engineers. You've got one sound engineer, but then he's got other guys who are his assistants. You've got obviously the musicians.
Lighting.
Sorry?
Lighting as well, probably,
Lighting. So you got lighting and that stuff as well. It's not just a case of they're just going to turn up and just press a few buttons. No, it's scripted. Everything is scripted. The song sheet I was sent. Now, we're not send the song sheet to my band to say this is what we're doing. It's got the name of the songs and the key, right? This has got the times with the second, right? What happens in between? Who comes on stage? There's dancers, a load of dancers as well. Stage crews, or people who build the stage, people who build the screens, people who build the lights. Put everyone together, you're talking about 100 people. Drivers, that's a separate job as well, you know. Yeah. But we'll talk very quickly about musically what, as I say, I picked up some stuff from there, which, yeah, I say I learned from it. The way delivering that sound, a lot of people went to Diljit's concerts. The sound, I think, was amazing. It's what they're performing. They are performing live, but it's to a foundation. You've got a backing track, which isn't just press play, right? It's been triggered by the other keyboard player. So he's playing bits and bobs. He's triggering stuff on that. He's got 2 laptops. I've never seen someone use 2 laptops as well as a keyboard. So triggering stuff, there's backing tracks, which are playing mostly the loops and the beats and stuff. There may be a little bit of musical stuff coming in as well, but there's a whole band. There was me on the keyboards playing all the live pieces. You got 2 other keyboard players. They've got a bass player, guitarist, and a drummer. And you've got 2 backing vocalists. So it is a band, you know. So again, it's that processed sound which has been put out. And Virax, the music director, he's the one who puts it all together. So the songs that you're hearing Diljit releases, you're going to hear them done live, but they're done like programmed again, fresh. I think that's how I'm going to be moving forward musically for our live stuff as well. It's a lot of time and effort, but the sound that you're going to get is going to be good.
Interesting. I was experimenting with that the other day because I used Logic, and that's got some live loops.
Right.
You've seen it.
I'll be honest.
Yeah. Live loop, which is supposed to be for exactly what you're saying. It's on a more basic level, and I'm rubbish at it at the moment. So
yeah, me as well. I mean, I used to do a lot of production back in my younger days. I haven't touched a Logic or a Cubase for years, right? But I think the new thing now is Ableton. That's what the Diljit's guys were using, and that's something which, again, talk about Dipsy. He's the one who's pushing me so much to go down this way. So it is something I'm going to look at as well. Ableton's a new one, I think, which a lot of people are using. Yeah. So, you know, it's something which part of me regrets not carrying on with it. You know, when you stop doing something, again, how quickly am I going to learn this now, being that older? Had I carried on doing it when I was young, I might have still had it in me. So, be a new challenge.
Sorry, it is a method to it. Learning. This is from all I've done probably past year or 2 podcasts, right? There's a method to learning. Believe it or not. I know the guy, if you can approach that to anything in life. If you've got this strict method, and the biggest thing is consistency. If you spend half an hour each day without fail,
100%. It's like, for me, I wasn't spending half an hour as time got on. I was spending hours and hours in my bedroom playing keyboards. It's like I'd had my whole setup in my bedroom, and I was just playing all the time for hours, just playing along to tapes and stuff. And they say it's the classic, isn't it? Practice makes perfect.
Yep.
I've got stuff which I'm going to be doing today, right? For the past 2 days, I've been learning a bit of Oasis and the Beatles. Today, I've got to learn Robbie Williams, and it's going to be a bit of a challenge. So I'm going to be sat here, just keep on playing. I've got to learn it all first, get it all together. But ultimately, keep on practicing. Practice makes perfect, man. And that's all I can say. I don't think there's any other things. You go and have a lesson. Just keep on practicing. That's the only way you're going to get better at anything, that is.
Absolutely. So what I find, going to a teacher, they just your mistakes and refine you, but the rest you have to put the work in at home.
Got to do it yourself, yeah. Nothing's going to get given to you on a plate. No. Anything, you know? Whether that be music, jobs, careers, professions, whatever. You've got to practice and keep working at it, and that's how you're going to become good. I'm still learning. I'm still practicing as much as I can, even with our busy lives. But that's the only tip I can give, is just keep on.
That was my next question. Like you've already answered it.
Keep practicing. But I do have another thing to say as well. And again, I say this many times. You would have seen it on our Legends Band live sessions. my little interview piece. Just a message to the youngsters out there, and that is pick up an instrument. Most youngsters want to become a dolly or a DJ. Absolutely nothing wrong with it, but pick up an instrument as well. You know, I learned the tabla dolki, you know, and I still mess around with it every now and then. You know,
That's
not
not
as good. You know, it's just messing around, that is, and just playing every now and then. Yeah, it drives my family up the wall sometimes when there's a load of noise coming from here. But just pick up an instrument, whether it be a tabla, dolki, a keyboard, guitar, violin, or whatever. Just pick it up, and you can do that alongside being a DJ and a dolly. You know, because I fear that we're going to be losing the live scene. We need people who are going to take over in our footsteps because we want live music to continue over the years. I've been doing this now 33 years. I'd love to do it for another 33 years, but we also want to bring kids into it, you know, to take over from us. You know, it'd be really good to see the kids learning instruments.
Do you think there's a lack of UK singers that stops the live scene?
That's going to be a point at some day. Yeah, we are getting some good singers coming through. My nephew recently, Omar, he shocked us all. He's come out with a track, but then the style's changing as well, isn't it? The style of music. It's very much sort of like the AP Dylan type of thing, the Sukha type of thing, huh? Is that the new trend? Is that what's going to be going forward? There is a lack of singers coming out to sing proper Punjabi style, huh? We do need more of those as well. So we don't want to lose our musical proper vibes, do we? I know.
You know what? The singing styles, right? This is my opinion on it. I'm such a fan of the old UK Punjabi, and they weren't even UK born. They were singers from India, but they had so much melody in their voice. I'm not talking about the Lemba. This is before the Lemba era, right? Before the Lemba and Kaka.
You talk about the era which I absolutely love myself as well.
You know, like Shin, Noki, Heavy, you know, Meshi, Ishara, and all of them. They weren't like the typical. They each of them had such distinct vocals, and you know the mitas in their voice.
That was, you know, for me, that is the best era of music, and we'll call it old school, even though some people may refer to Dasja as old school. But you know what? Yeah, our old school is you're talking Hira, Alap, DCS, Apna Sangeet. That kind of musical era is, you know what? It is the best because there was melody in the vocals. There was melody in you know, the way the songs were produced. Then there was musical pieces, proper musical pieces. The likes of Diljit Dosanjh, Baldev Mastana, Diljit Bhangra. Look at the music that they produced back in the day. Yeah, it was musical. Some of those are quite challenging to play again, right? But you know, that is the kind of stuff we've lost. Unfortunately, it'd be brilliant to bring it in. I've got to say something here. I'm not just saying this because I perform alongside it, but Suk True School, yeah, the geezer's a genius, man. I'm doing a project along. I can't say too much about it at the moment, but you all know about it quite soon. I'm doing a project with him and his band, and I'll tell you, he's very particular how he wants stuff played, and so having to go back and learn his stuff. You know what? The geezer's a genius because he's got all different types of music. You're talking hardcore Desi folk, yeah, right? Then you've got hip hop vibes going on. Then you've got proper Bhangra. Then you've got old school 90s India type of music. You know, the geezer's bad boy, man. And you know what? This is the kind of stuff we're missing. We're going to be missing out. And we need more of that, man. You know what I mean? So that's what I urge the youngsters, you know, keep this going for us, man. You know what I mean?
I just think we should, like I love the Limber era and Kaka era, but I think we lost something. Everything became just that style. We had Sahotas, we had DCS, we had Excellency.
Yeah.
You know, we had all different style of.
Yeah. Every band then was unique to their own sound.
Anarchy,
they all had their own sound. They may have been influenced by another band, right? But they had their own sound. There was a hell of a lot of musicians as well, enough to make individual bands, DCS, Alap, Hirab, Naseed. They all had their own bands. Now musicians have moved on. Those guys that were back in the scene then, maybe due to professional or whatever commitments, um, I've remained. The boys around me have remained, and there's only a few setups who are able to perform with everybody else. So, not in a bad way, but we're going to be sounding similar in each way. Even though we do try our hardest with my band, whenever we perform with every singer, we try and make them sound how they used to sound back in the day. You know, so ultimately, then yeah, each band had their own unique sound, whether it be on recordings and live. You know, and yeah, it's unfortunate we ain't really got that anymore. Times have changed, times have evolved.
This is where if we had that weekly or 2 weekly setup,
Do it, yeah.
you'll bring other people and other kids will come and say, "Oh,
Yeah.
Harry's playing keyboard." They'll probably ask you, "Harry, how do you play this?" And
Yeah.
you'll encourage other
Oh, I'm
musicians.
always happy to help. Always happy to help.
So yeah, like, but I remember back to your point about sounding different. You know what I used to do when I used to do a few live sets before, huh? I used to take Gore and Gale and I didn't used to show them the original songs.
Right.
But then the sound that they came out with was totally unique.
Yeah.
It was
Because it's
it
going
was
to be
their interpretation of it.
Yeah.
I know.
Good idea.
That's what I used to do.
Yeah.
Like I had one guy who used to play Billie Jean bass to a Punjabi song. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Wicked. It's going to work, isn't it? It's going to work, man.
Hey, bro, I'm not going to keep it too long. So where can we follow you on social media, and how can someone get in contact with you and whatnot?
Yeah, well, you can always find me on Facebook. Simple, Harry Matharu. I'm also Harry Matharu on Instagram as well. That's about as far as my social media goes. Even though my family do bug me that I need to get onto things like TikTok and stuff, but you'll always get in touch with me. There's always somebody who's going to know me. But yeah, if you're going to get through to me on social media, it's going to be through Facebook or Instagram. I'll give you my information in a bit if you want to.
Well, what we'll do as well, or what I normally do, I'll tag you into the post. So do little snippets.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
If you see this on one of the posts, make sure you follow Harry as well. So yeah, that's all. It's been an absolute pleasure with you.
No, nice one, Raj. Finally, after months of trying to plan this,
I actually want to carry on talking to you, but it's I think listeners hearing my voice, not your voice, hearing my voice probably.
No, it'll be my voice as well again. Yeah.
So
but no, Raj, no problems, man.
Yeah,
thanks for having me, man.
So I'm going to hit the stop. So guys, if you can make sure you follow Harry, check his music out. He's got such a vast library of vast history in music, right from the 90s right to now. I say the 90s like it was yesterday, but it wasn't then. It's 20, 30 years.
You know what? Yeah.
So guys, make sure you give us a follow. Make sure you subscribe and just share the posts as much as possible. Share whatever you can, and leave a review on Spotify. Leave a review. Leave a comment on YouTube. So God bless you all. Till we meet again with another guest. Bless you all.